It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
Let's go Tuesday show, February 6, 2024. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com, and the Fox local app if you are watching live. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Hey, man, why does your name come first on the show?
Oh, man, well, it's very simple.
It's first in the open? Why is your name first?
Well, hey, man, look, I'm more than happy. I think it rolls off the tongue better.
Okay.
I think it rolls off the tongue better.
Edwards with Maz. Edwards and Ermanni with Maz.
Look at that. Well, I mean, you can do that, too. You can give that a shot.
We are just messing with you guys.
Why am I with?
Because you got to give you something special. If it's like Ermanni and Edwards and Maz.
All right.
I feel like when you say with, it gives you your own special space.
I like that.
I'm the guy in the middle. I'm the middle child.
You are.
You know what?
You want to be the lead dog?
F no. You do too much work. You do too much work. I like being Edwards.
Oh, man, it's all good. Hello to our YouTube audience out there in YouTube land. Subscribe to the show. Hit the like button as well. Helps YouTube push our content out to more people. Tom Mazaway, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Hey, guys. Welcome in. It's good to be back. Beautiful nondescript Tuesday in February. Hey, it's going to be a great week, right? Temperatures are going up.
No doubt about it.
Sunshine's out.
It's amazing.
I feel like I'm in Florida.
Say, you know me, you guys know me. Once it hits April, I'm in all quarter zips and golf shirts, man. So I felt good today. It's 52 degrees, so I'm thinking golf. I'm thinking swinging. I'm thinking getting out there on that course.
The great Pete Spivak is here, and so is
Kool-Aid.
Brad Daddy.
who is just, I mean, Kool-Aid.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, man.
How is mama and baby, more importantly? How's everybody doing?
They're healthy. And that's what had me a little bit behind. Had to get from the appointment. But they are healthy, man. I'm happy. We're blessed.
Give us a name,
Yeah.
give us sizes,
Give us
give us
something,
everything.
This
First-
baby, Liliana Grace, is my second daughter.
Liliana, I have a Liliana.
Oh, you do?
My first daughter.
Oh, man. Yo, Billy, you know it was meant to be.
Michigan State.
But yeah, Liliana Grace, 8 pounds, 2.2 ounces.
Oh, God bless you,
Woo!
Brandon. God bless you,
Thank you.
Kool-Aid.
Thank you,
And
guys.
God bless Mama and Liliana as
100%.
well. Unbelievable. How's Big Sister doing? How's Big
She's
Sister
doing
handling
good.
everything?
She's doing fabulous with it, man. She's kind of being like more protective, making sure like, hey, does she need anything? She's helping our mom. It's awesome because we wonder about those things. How's the older girl gonna take these things? And she's just stepped right in to help and be a blessing.
She'll be pushing her down soon. Don't
One
worry.
more Kool-Aid, and you'll be just like Tom Mazaway over here with 3 daughters over there.
Those daughters will be fighting soon. Don't
Two
worry.
is enough, man. 2 is enough for me.
Oh,
2 daughters,
man,
yeah.
God bless. That's what I always said, too. I was like, man, I'm too selfish to have more than 2 kids.
You got to play zone defense. You can't play man on man anymore.
That's why that middle child syndrome is a real deal. You get 1, you get 2, you got the baby, and you got the older one. You can treat them as such. You get your girl and the boy. You can treat them as such. You get the 3rd kid.
Oh, man.
And it gets interesting.
Yeah, man.
Kool-Aid,
oh,
how's that
man.
morning show going?
Hey, it's going, man. It's
Morning
going.
Woodward.
It's been funny. It's been hype. We've gotten on each other's nerves a couple times. Had a couple.
Well, that's gonna
blow-ups.
happen.
But honestly, it started off good. We've got a good reception in the chat as well.
We
Fantastic.
still battle every now and again. We're
100%.
still fighting every now and again.
Exactly. We just play it smooth with smiles.
Hey, you know what, though? I've had a lot of the best to learn from, man. You guys' support has meant the world. I've heard from all of you all as we've started this thing off, and it's been great.
Well, we're so proud of
100%,
you
man. You know
and
you're my
Matt
guy, man.
and Sam. You guys together, man, are going to be great on that morning show. Wake up,
thank you.
Woodward.
sir.
Listen to Kool-Aid and Broder and Sam every morning,
Might be
8 to 10, right here on Woodward Sports Network.
Might be some healthy competition, so we throw little jabs and jokes here and there. Don't take offense. That means
Hey.
we view you as a serious challenge to what we do. Because if we're competing, then the network's in good hands.
Absolutely.
Great.
Well, we're real proud of you. And Spivak, you feeling good over there? I thought you were going to die on Friday, but I'm glad to see you.
I appreciate it, bros. I don't get the flu that I just had, man. That wiped me out, bros.
Oh, man. Did you get some good rest over the weekend?
Yeah, I did. Thanks. And I had to take off yesterday, but I appreciate it, boys.
You look way better today than you did on Friday.
You had a foot and 2 toes in the casket. That's all I saw. This is all we saw on Friday. I'm good. I'm doing good. Don't come here, bro.
Don't come in here.
It's like, whoa.
Oh, man.
Boy, no, I'm back, boys. I'm ready to go.
That's
all right,
fantastic.
shut your mic off.
Hey, Maz, just a quick message to the fellas out there, because I think what you did yesterday was very important for men specifically.
No doubt.
And just your colonoscopy went well. Easy process.
Easy.
Hardest part is the prep, right?
Hardest work. If you like to drink, if you could drink Gatorade, and you got to put stuff in it, you got to put Miralax in it, or they give you this other stuff called Go Lightly. I can't drink that stuff, so I did different prep this time. I had 2 days of you couldn't eat solid foods, liquid diet. I'm not a big drinker. Like, this water will last me for a day and a half.
Oh, wow.
I don't drink a lot. I just do not.
That's
why I get a lot of migraines. But I have to force myself to drink. But the prep is the only thing, guys. That's the biggest thing. When you go there, it's the easiest thing that they knock you out. It's the best sleep you ever had. They're talking to you. Next time you know, you're in the recovery room and you're gone 10 minutes later. You're in there for just a couple of hours, and it was great. St. John's Hospital, Ascension, they did a great job. Beaumont, Grosse Pointe before that, both places great.
Good, man.
Get your checkups, guys. Don't do what my dad did. My dad's 96, but he's never had one.
He's doing
colonoscopy.
okay. He's
okay. Sammy Maz
not
he's
a
fine.
good example.
He's not a good example. What I'm saying is, don't be that brave guy that don't want to go to the doctor. And, oh, no one's doing that to me. You don't even know what hit you.
Right.
You have no idea. And it's so easy. Get it done. Get your colonoscopies. And they say you should start, even before you're 50 now.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
45. We said 45.
Neil Rule caught me in the back, and he had that look on his face. He's like, well, I'm due, Maz. How was it? And I explained to him, you got this, Neil.
I just turned 45 a couple of weeks ago, and I've got a prior history in my family of prostate cancer. So between prostate, and colonoscopy, got to do that. So great to have the gang all here, and we've got a great show for you today. I believe Dave Beachnau is going to join us. Dave Beachnau is the executive director of the Detroit Sports Commission. If you haven't looked at your calendar yet, it is early February. In just a couple of months, the NFL Draft is going to be here in Detroit. And the NFL Draft, one of the big events in this country. Dave is in Las Vegas right now, Super Bowl week, promoting that event, being a spokesperson for our city, essentially. And that draft is going to be something that I think we're all proud of, Bray. And that draft, to me, and I know a lot of people say Final Four and this, that, and the other thing, I think the NFL Draft is the second biggest event this country has to offer, only behind the Super Bowl. I truly believe that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be an amazing event. You saw what the playoff games did in terms of revenue generated for the city. You're talking about an event that starts on Thursday and is not gonna end until Sunday in terms of when people leave. So a lot of revenue will be generated, and the city's coming together as well, man. I think the people will get a good chance to see what Detroit has to offer, much like the Buccaneers fans did, much like the Rams fans did as well, outside of those L's. So very excited, and Dave Beachnau, always great to talk to him because they're always up to something. Something's always coming for the city. So I'm excited to talk to him and see what's coming after the draft.
And when it comes to the draft as well, Brad Holmes talked about this yesterday as a way to highlight the city of Detroit and how the Lions essentially have been built through the draft. Here he is from yesterday.
I'm excited about having the draft. I've always one of the things when we moved here, I was shocked. Downtown Detroit. I love downtown Detroit. I think downtown Detroit is ideal to host a Super Bowl if the weather permitted. I just think it's an awesome downtown. It's one of the better ones that I've been around, and that's why I love the fact that us hosting the draft is going to give, hopefully not only Detroit but the world a glimpse of kind of what our city is all about. And, and hopefully us hosting the draft means something, because that's what our team has been built upon, really, is the draft and through the draft. And so I think it's going to mean a lot on a lot of different levels. But I'm just excited that, our city is going to get the recognition and the world's going to see. I just know that we're picking later, so they're going to be waiting to see if our pick, and if we trade out of the first round, then I'll just send a memo.
That's funny, too, because I don't think there's any chance that the Detroit Lions trade out of the first round of the NFL draft, having it here in Detroit. I think he was just kind of joking there, but nonetheless.
What number do we have?
I think 29.
29, 30, 31.
29.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. I think 29, and if anything, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a move up.
Up. Yes. Yes.
Right? With
Absolutely.
that.
Listen, man, I believe, and we'll have Dave Beachnau coming on in the second hour, and he's in Vegas, like you said, promoting this event.
Yeah.
We host it all, man. We have hosted every single event. The only thing we haven't done, we even did the World Cup, didn't we? At one point,
In Silverdome,
at the Silverdome back in the day. By the
80s, I think.
way, Jersey got it. Oh my God, those poor ACLs on those athletes. Nonetheless, I really believe, because of the Lions' resurgence, the way Ford Field is looked at now, and the way downtown Detroit is going to be for the draft, that we got another shot for a Super Bowl down the line. Ford Field's a nice place, man, and I've grown to love it. And other people are going to love it. They're going to love what we have to offer. I believe we will get another Super Bowl here.
That's a great thought, Maz. I just don't see it. I just
Hotels
don't.
are popping up, man.
I understand. And look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Detroit will never have a Super Bowl. Roger Goodell was asked at Ford Field a couple of weeks ago when he was here promoting the draft with Mike Tirico. They were on stage and had the discussion. Somebody in the audience asked if Detroit would get another Super Bowl, and he didn't say no. He's not going to say no right now. But he did say, let's get through the draft and see what happens. But yeah, I just, Las Vegas is now a venue that will be on the regular rotation.
Yeah.
So you've got
Maybe.
No, it's 100%.
Joe Buck is against it.
Well, Joe Buck isn't the NFL.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's a guy that calls NFL games, and he's like, I am so glad that I am not anywhere near this Super Bowl this year.
Why? I did not hear that.
Yeah, he put it up today. Matter of fact, we have the tweet that we could put up there, Pete, when you get a second. But Joe Buck has spoken out, and I'm just saying, the guy's been around for a long time, and he just feels that there's going to be a circus around this thing. And what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. He's like, that ain't going to happen. What happens in Vegas, we're all going to know.
Let me read that for the people who do audio only. This is from Joe Buck. Joe Buck predicting the Super Bowl will be a mess. Quote, I don't have any desire to be there. There's going to be some story. There's going to be something that happens because it's Vegas, and it won't stay in Vegas. There's going to be a big something that happens. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. It's going to be a mess in my mind. What does that mean?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think maybe in terms of the planning for the Super Bowl, maybe in terms of what they're doing surrounding the game. I mean, we saw already, you're talking about the teams not being in similar places.
Yeah.
One team's at UNLV, which we know is not going to be up to snuff to what the Raiders have for the Kansas City Chiefs. But just getting back to that Super Bowl deal, I'm on your side, Ryan, and this is why. Just went to Houston for the national championship game. You see how Houston is constructed in terms of hotels, the Galleria Mall area that has more hotels, the Midtown area. Everything is filled. It's kind of like a sense of it's a fluid flow to downtown. It's nice. It's popping. You look downtown Detroit, it's coming. Like, it's on the way. Now, we know COVID delayed us, but that delayed everybody. You got a lot of empty holes downtown Detroit. You got buildings being built in downtown Detroit, not being finished. And then the hotel situations. The cities that you go to for Super Bowl, I've been to Super Bowl in Miami. I've been to Super Bowl in Houston. I've been to Super Bowl in Houston again. I've been to Super Bowl in other places.
Tampa,
Miami twice, even New York. It's just cities that can take everything that's going to be the traffic, the people,
Orleans,
the numbers, New Orleans, the hotels, the things surrounding the hotels. These are venues and cities that are in place for it. I don't think Detroit is ready yet. Like, I don't. I know we had a Super Bowl here, but to where the city is now, when you go around the country, when you travel around the country and then you come back and hang out downtown Detroit, born and raised, love my city, is what it is, so I can speak like this. Not the same. Like, it seems that you go to Houston, they're living in the future. You go to L.A., they're living in the future to an extent. Ryan, you just came back from San Fran, and maybe that's a little different. It's in Santa Clara, it's not San Fran. But you go down
like Silicon Valley.
You go down to Silicon, they're living in the future in terms of technology, in terms of look, in terms of aesthetic. So Detroit has a ways to go if they want to compete with that. Love my city, but that's just the truth.
We had Super Bowl 16 here. It was in a blizzard.
But these are years ago.
VP Bush was in town. Traffic was a mess.
Yeah.
People were slipping on their way to the Silverdome. We had Super Bowl 40 here. Again, a blizzard. It was a mess, but it went off well. We've had events here that go well. I don't know, man. I just believe what the Lions are doing. They're not a joke anymore. And people have seen what Ford Field has become. It's the loudest stadium in the country. They've showed it. They've proved it. That place is a great place to watch football. No reason it shouldn't be here.
There's no doubt in what you're saying.
100%.
The city of Detroit absolutely could pull off the Super Bowl.
Yes.
But in lieu of what? Because let's look at the next 3 Super Bowls.
Right.
New Orleans,
Right.
Santa Clara,
Yep.
and L.A.
Right.
So then you got to go back to Tampa, Miami,
Right.
Arizona.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
100%.
Okay.
now you're going to go to Las Vegas.
But by then, Detroit's going to be booming.
No, then you know what's going to happen? There's going to be a new stadium that pops up.
100%.
So then you got to have it at that
Chicago.
new stadium. You know,
Buffalo.
whether it's Chicago or Buffalo.
No, but these are already in the works.
Yeah, no
Buffalo's
doubt.
out. They're outdoors.
Buffalo is probably out, I
It's
would
outdoors.
say.
Nashville.
Yes,
Nashville.
for sure.
They're building theirs.
For
Nashville.
sure.
So, I mean, it's not that Detroit couldn't do it. I think Indianapolis is a big event city
It
that
is.
is deemed as.
You don't think
a big-
Detroit is as
No,
good as Indianapolis?
I do not.
No.
I think it's 10 times
when
better.
it comes to
Events.
when it comes to events, the absolute walkable situation. If you've ever been to a Final Four, a Big Ten championship, or anything in Indianapolis, you could literally stay in and just walk everywhere.
Well, what do you think we have?
No, I know. I don't.
We have 3 casinos with we got the Book Cadillac getting built. The Book Cadillac's up where the Macy's building was. The Hudson's building, excuse me. You're going to have stuff there.
I'm not saying no.
Listen, I live in downtown Detroit. We do everything down there.
I understand.
So I know the city real well, and I enjoy it because you could get anywhere down there.
Maz, I think you're misunderstanding what I'm trying to say, and maybe I'm not doing a good job of it. What I'm saying is, yes, Detroit could absolutely have a successful Super Bowl. If it were up to us, they absolutely would have a Super Bowl here. However, I just don't know, to sell it to the NFL audience, what city you're going to replace out of Las Vegas, Santa Clara, L.A., New Orleans, Tampa, Arizona, Miami, and then insert new stadium here.
Yeah.
And then give Indianapolis, where the Combine is every year, another chance. So
I get you. I know there's great
You're
places.
looking at 10 years right there.
Yeah.
10 years right there.
Man, we're not arguing over the city. I love my city just like you love your city. Love downtown Detroit. But when I go to other cities, when I go to other venues, and I see things, I'm like, if people came here, where am I sending someone to go hang out? Like, in that regard, the restaurant side of things, there are a couple of decent restaurants. The cities that are doing Super Bowls, it's more than a couple of decent restaurants. The hotels to stay at, there's more than 3 hotels down there. There's more than 3 hotels in these cities. Just places to tell them, hey, this is what you should do. This is an area you should go check out. You should do these things. Detroit needs to do some work if they want to be one of these cities that people go to for these events and have a good time. Like, we can make it work. But we don't want to make it work. We just want people to come in and it already works.
I think you have. What more do you want?
I don't.
We have great restaurants.
Yeah,
You
I
got
think
casinos.
you can do it right. I think you can pull it off right now. I mean, I do think you can do that right now.
We're up to Super Bowl 58 right now.
When I was
right?
in Houston, it was just very different than Detroit. Like, it just looked very different. The restaurants were very different. Like, there were so many different spots to hang out, different venues. Right now, it's hard to go outside downtown Detroit and get a bite to eat outside in the summertime. Most restaurants don't even have an outside area. They create outside areas. These are the things that I'm talking about.
I think I think they would have extended hours and all that stuff for a Super Bowl week, just like, you know, for the NFL draft.
Name
You'll
a spot
see-
out downtown Detroit that's fun to eat outside.
Oh, well, I mean,
That's what I mean.
all that stuff is created,
But that comes with-
you know, all
yeah.
that stuff is created for
Birmingham's got a whole bunch
the
of
event.
restaurants.
That's true.
for the event. You know
This
what
is
I
true.
mean? And they'll have a lot of outdoor
Listen,
seating
Super
and
Bowl
stuff.
16.
I think you'll see a lot of that NFL draft week.
Super Bowl
think that'd be
16,
a good, like,
24
market
years
count,
with
right?
the Super Bowl 40. So in 24 more years, it'll be 60. It'll be Super Bowl 64.
Right.
So that's 6 more Super Bowls. In 6 more, we got a shot to get something in the next 6
So
Super Bowls.
here's the next. Here's the
I
next.
know the
part.
next 3 are done.
Here's the next part of that. 6 more Super Bowls. You're talking about a 30-year-old stadium. You know, and if technology has moved at this pace,
Yeah.
what's it going to look like 5 years from now, 10 years from now? You're probably not going to want to have a Super Bowl in a stadium that's 30 years old. I mean, I'm just playing
I know,
devil's
but you've
advocate
been to
here.
Ford Field now.
Yes.
You're a season ticket holder.
Completely
You've
great.
been to games. Have you been to the press box? Have you been?
I've not been up to the press box there.
It's huge.
The press box in San Francisco was the nicest press box I've ever been in my life.
I understand
Yeah.
that. You know what? Michigan's press box. Michigan's press box is outstanding.
Yeah.
When they redid everything, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's all you need. Shut the press up. As long as they have a place to eat and drink, that's all they give a damn about.
Yeah.
Super Bowl 40, I probably went to 5 parties downtown. I had a time of my life with my brother-in-law, my Jersey Mike,
Yeah.
Luigi was here, Pete was with me. We were all over the place. It was great.
So Super Bowl 40, we have a photographer, editor extraordinaire. His name is Doug Tracy at Fox 2.
Sure.
Doug Tracy's been at Fox 2 for damn near 35, 40 years, somewhere around there, since the early 80s, right? He found video today, this morning. We're going to actually play it
Ooh.
on Thursday. We're going to do a Throwback Thursday segment
love
on
that.
Fox 2. Super Bowl week leading up to Super Bowl 40.
I want that to play here.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
I am at the P. Diddy party at
Diddy.
Elysium.
Yeah, I didn't go to that one.
And I do what we call in the business as a look live. You know,
Okay,
I'm not
yeah.
live, but it's like a look live. And, oh yeah, I'm here at the P. Diddy party, and quite a remarkable guest list. Oprah Winfrey is on the list. LL Cool J, and I interview these 2 ladies that are there. So that's great.
Yeah.
Well, they come back, and P. Diddy is there. So I interview P. Diddy, and I'm watching this morning. I haven't seen this video. I don't remember this video. I don't remember anything about it. But I'm interviewing P. Diddy, and it was like a 2-minute interview.
Yeah.
And at the end of the interview, he's like, hey, let me get this in. I got my new fragrance from Marshall Fields coming out, so
Nice.
look for that. And I said, oh, yeah, Diddy, let the people know where they can get it. And he's like,
Marshall
Fields.
Yeah.
Oh, you were just thinking, is this right when Marshall
You're
Fields
already
took over
ahead.
Hudson?
You're already thinking ahead.
What's that?
Is this right when Marshall Fields took over Hudson?
Oh, I don't even. It was 2006 Super Bowl.
I gotta
It's
see
so
that,
good.
man.
Yeah, it's so
I gotta
good.
see that.
It is so great.
I'm just saying, Detroit
Yeah.
was a great party town and for Super Bowl 40. It would be 10 times better now. 10 times better.
I'm not hating.
How old's the Superdome? It's
Hey,
1975.
I understand that. I'm not hating. I'm just saying how many empty spaces downtown, like how many build. Like it's hard to describe because
We
feel like
got
I'm going.
time.
It feels like I'm going against my city, and I'm not. I'm just.
I know
simply-
you're not.
You hang out like when I went to Houston. It was like I haven't been out of town in a while. I went to Houston. It just looked much different. When I went to LA at the beginning of last year, just looked much different. When I went to New York for these Jets games, like, it just looks much different. In Miami, it just looks much different. So I just need. I don't know. What I'm gonna tell somebody? Go to Eminem's Mom's Spaghetti. Go hang out there where the food's atrocious.
In another 6 years, this place is going to be
The Hudson,
dominating.
The Hudson project, once it's finished, will give Detroit a lot of life. And I
Yeah.
think that will be like kind of like the cornerstone of what Detroit's doing moving forward. So I'm really waiting for that.
COVID slowed it down. Let's
Look,
face it.
I
COVID
think-
killed it.
I think we can all agree. We all hope it happens.
Oh
I
my
just
God.
don't know. Even if you go back to 2006, right? They got a new stadium. That's why they got the Super Bowl. And then what wasn't around back in 2006? There was no team in Las Vegas. There was no team in Los Angeles. And the San Francisco 49ers played in a dump of Candlestick Park.
Yeah.
So there's 3 Super Bowl spots that you have to contend with that were not around back then. 3 major cities in America that you don't have to contend with. that you didn't have to contend with in 06. So we'll see. Look, the Lions, the city of Detroit, the NFL will absolutely kill the draft here.
Super Bowl 65, Detroit.
City can hold any big event. If they can hold a WrestleMania, they can hold a Super Bowl. Okay, and they've done 2 WrestleManias. One, really, in the city of Detroit. Of course, WrestleMania 3 was in Pontiac, but that is an event that you can laugh at it all you want. But that event brings the world to your city.
This is true, but the type of people that come to WrestleMania are the same type of people that go to the Super Bowl. Like, it's people spending some big money, like $8,000 for a ticket to go to the Super Bowl. Nobody spending $8,000 to go to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So,
I believe Super Bowl 65 is going to be in Detroit.
Well, I hope you're right, Tom. And we'll
65.
I hope you're right about that.
25-year difference.
We'll talk to Dave Beachnau about that and everything else. Look, Final Four is coming to Detroit, too. That is.
I went to the last one.
Yeah, that is.
I think it was North Carolina versus Michigan State.
We got the regionals this year, though.
Yeah. Got the regionals this year. Then you got a Final Four coming in, I believe, 27.
I love it.
So that's, man, there's a lot going on.
The Frozen Four we lost. We had one.
COVID, right?
We lost the one at COVID. So that'll be back as well.
I'd love to see another WrestleMania. They had SummerSlam last year.
I agree. We would.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will.
You know, that was all great.
I want to see a World Series.
Absolutely. Guys, coming up.
Scott Harris.
One of the things that Brad Holmes talked about yesterday was if he has had any conversations with Jared Goff and Jared Goff's people about an extension. You're going to hear from Brad Holmes what he had to say about that coming up next. But first, a message from us here at WSN, Woodward Sports Network. We invite you all to go to woodwardsports.com. Click on that shop tab. You can find new Detroit sports wearables, hats, hoodies, tees, everything in between. Comfortable, affordable. All you got to do, woodwardsports.com. Click on the shop tab.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA Tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Have you ever wondered where all the finest restaurants get their steaks? It's Fairway Packing Company, providing Michigan restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef for over 60 years. But now you can buy these cuts of meat for yourself at the Steak Shop by Fairway Packing Company. Prime porterhouse, A5 Japanese New York strip steak, dry aged Wagyu beef tomahawk. Delicious. Get to the Steak Shop today. Enjoy fine wine, have a private party, and get the finest cuts of meat anywhere. The Steak Shop on Mack Avenue in Grosse Pointe Woods, or order online, fairwaypacking.com.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Hey, gang, let me tell you about Fairway Packing Company. For over 60 years, Fairway Packing has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. You can experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Just visit the Steak Shop in Grosse Pointe Woods. Grab-and-go steaks. If you can't make it there in person, you can order online. They ship next day. Fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com. WoodwardSportsNetwork.com. And now, Tom Mazaway for a message from Big Boy.
All right, folks, you know it. Hey, wintertime's coming close, but wintertime in Detroit is always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. Get yourself the veal parmesan, the Southern Comfort chicken bowl. Start your day off with a great breakfast, the stuffed potato pancakes, the Santa Fe garden omelet, the lumberjack omelet, and the apple pie hotcakes are too good to pass up. Top it off with a great shake. We got the gingerbread shake for a limited time only at your local Big Boy.
All right, guys, Woodward Sports Network on a Tuesday of Super Bowl week. It is a little bit less than exciting that the Detroit Lions aren't in it, but
I'm a Super Bowl junkie.
I mentioned it earlier
I'm
today,
a
too.
junkie.
I know what you're going to say.
I'm a junkie.
I know what you're going to say.
And I don't give a damn. I'm not buying any more squares. I'm just not excited.
Dude,
I'm gassed.
Maz, I said it today. I don't know if it's because the Lions got so close.
Yeah.
But
they wrecked it.
All this opening night stuff, which used to be Media Day, it's now called Super Bowl opening night.
I haven't watched 1 second of it.
I just swiped through.
Yep.
I could not watch any of it.
Pro Bowl?
Nothing. I'll
nothing.
watch the game.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the game, I think.
I just don't care.
Let me ask you a question. Is it, and this is a real question because I think this is the truth, is it you feel that way because of the Lions losing, how they lost, or the Lions losing? Because if the Lions would have gotten blown out, I don't think you feel this way. If the Lions would have played a good game to the end and maybe lost in the end and San Fran just outplayed them, but the fact that in both of your minds, regardless of you agreeing on the decision or not, the Lions gave the game away at the end.
The better team in the NFC is not representing
and that's
the
why,
league in the Super Bowl.
Listen to me, man. I don't know what it is.
Is that fair to say?
Probably.
Yeah.
Listen,
probably 100%.
Yeah. No, that's real. Like they were right there.
I usually watch every Super Bowl replay on NFL Network from Super Bowl 1 all the way until not the ones I don't watch. I don't watch the Patriots win. I just don't. But this one I watched 1 through 23 through 25. I watched all of them 1 through 25. And I stopped. And I'm done. I don't even put on NFL Network anymore. And it's my favorite channel. I'm just not caring anymore. I feel like this, I don't even know. I can't even describe how I feel that the season's over or whatever. I'm not excited. I'm not excited for the Super Bowl for the first time in my life. And I don't know what it is.
I'll tell you what it is. It's the Lions. But hey, Brad Holmes was at the podium yesterday, and he was talking about how you should expect this team to be there each and every year now competing for Super Bowls. And to do that, you need a quarterback. The Detroit Lions have a quarterback. And I don't think there's any doubt, really, that the Detroit Lions are going to sign Jared Goff to an extension. And you better get comfortable with north of $50 million, $50 million or higher for that. Here's what Brad Holmes said yesterday at the podium when he was asked if he's had conversations with Jared Goff or his representatives on an extension.
In terms of Jared, look, I've always had belief in Jared. You guys have always heard me that. I don't think, I don't know what more needs to be said from a leadership or performance standpoint or what more he needs to do in that regard. But in terms of the belief, as always, I think I said this to you guys before, is that, he got drafted in 16 and, he wasn't a full-time starter, but 17 was his first year as a full-time starter and he made the playoffs. And, got exited versus the Falcons that year, but the second year as a full-time starter, he went to a Super Bowl. And what I didn't understand why his career was defined after he went to a Super Bowl a second year as a full-time starter. And so then when he came to us, I always had belief. So him doing what he did this past year or even the year before, it's not a surprise to us. I just know how he's wired. I know the talent he has. I know the leadership he has. I know his mental and physical toughness. I know what he's made about. And I think his peers and definitely his teammates recognize the same thing. So just happy that what he's done and, couldn't be more proud of everything he's achieved.
Bray, Is there any question in your mind that Jared Goff is the quarterback of the future of the Detroit Lions?
When you say future, there's no question at all. How long is that future? That remains to be seen. What I think Jared Goff has earned in the city of Detroit, you saw what he did at the end of last season, how well he played. You saw what he did this year. When Jared Goff was on, when the team was on, Jared Goff made plays. Jared Goff was one of the top 7 quarterbacks in terms of stats, in terms of what he did. Hey, top 5 in terms of stats, interception and touchdown ratio, yards, completion percentages, QBR. Jared Goff was that for this team. He's earned himself a contract. Now when you talk about how long that contract, no, I don't think he earned himself a contract that's one of Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes, or insert one of those guys that you're going to pay Josh Allen 5 years, $250 million, or blah, blah, blah. I think he's earned himself a contract more than Geno Smith did when he got paid by the Seattle Seahawks, but along those lines where you're looking to do a 3-year deal with an option after that 3rd deal, upwards of $50 million a year.
3 for $150?
3 for $150. Look, it's the going rate. Like, so don't talk about, oh, he's not worth 50. Look at the quarterbacks that are getting paid in the NFL. Is the going rate now for a quarterback, especially a quarterback that has success like Jared Goff does, from the Los Angeles Rams, and now with the Detroit Lions, 2 playoff wins and knocking on the door of going to the Super Bowl. So I think he's a 3-year deal, option after the 3rd, 150. That just is the going rate right now.
He's the guy.
Yeah.
Look at that picture
and I
behind
think it's
you
fair.
guys. Look at that picture. Let's go to the big wall there for a second, Pete. Look at that picture. There's Jared Goff right in the middle of his team. They love this guy. He loves them. This is the guy that they're all rooting for. Brad Holmes was one of the guys that helped draft him. He's been to a Super Bowl, could have been to 2 here with us. You know what the scoop is. He's going to get paid. Braylon and Ryan, They laid it out. It is what it is. He's getting paid. He can win a Super Bowl. There's not a question in my mind that he can win a Super Bowl. Are there better guys out there? Perhaps. We don't know where they are yet, but there could be. He could be a guy that's on your team in Hendon Hooker. We don't know what he has yet. And eventually, you're going to find out what he has. Going forward, it's Jared Goff. It's his team. This is his city. He loves us, and we love him.
100%. Jared Goff is the guy moving forward. He's earned the right to get an extension for 3 years. He's earned that right. But at the end of the day, the NFL is still a right now business. What have you done for me lately business? If Jared Goff doesn't have the season next year and he's going into that second year, all right, you have to prove it again. We know what Jared Goff is. We know what he isn't. And right now he's a starting quarterback for the Detroit Lions, and he should be paid an extension. But with that being said, we also know what he's not. So if another opportunity arises, if you see some things, some chinks in the armor that get worse, you have to make moves, and I think that's what Brad Holmes is good at. So he's going to get paid, and Brad Holmes will take care of the rest.
And he absolutely should.
Yep.
I don't think there's any question about it. And look, I think even the strongest supporter of the Detroit Lions over the years had questions of Jared Goff when he was traded here to Detroit. I think most people saw him as a throw-in on the deal to get those draft picks and get rid of Matthew Stafford. I'm not sure anybody outside of Brad Holmes and maybe Dan Campbell thought he would be the long-term solution here in Detroit. He has played himself into being that. There's no question in anybody's mind, I don't think, that he has earned the right to be the quarterback of the Detroit Lions and make $50 million a year, which is the going rate for above average quarterbacks. I think that's that is the bar, really.
40 is the low and goes up from there.
40, you're embarrassed.
Well, that's what Daniel Jones is making.
Yeah, you don't have a quarterback at 40.
I'm just saying.
You know?
They paid him that. I'd say that's the low, and then you go up from there.
Right. You're embarrassed to have a quarterback at $40 million.
The low is 47. Because that's what Daniel Jones wanted. It's not what he got. He got 42. You're not giving him 42 what Daniel Jones got. And we saw how Daniel Jones fell apart. You talk about a guy that needs everything to be perfect. Well, that's another step in what Daniel Jones is. 47 is low, but you're not going to get 47. You're talking about a guy with 2 playoff wins. Hell, he's got more wins than Dak Prescott in the last 7 years. Dak Prescott's 12-5 every year. Yeah. So when you look at it from that point, he won when he was supposed to win. And you get taken care of. You should get taken care of.
So I've got 2 more Brad Holmes sound bites that I want to play for you. We'll do them one at a time in this portion of the discussion anyway. And we'll pick them apart and we'll talk about them. But I thought this was interesting too. Dan Campbell addressed it. It was about falling in love with players. When you win, how many times did Ken Holland for the Red Wings fall in love with a guy because you had so much success with the player. The Detroit Tigers did so as well. You fall in love with a guy because of the success you had as a team. How do you guard against just keeping guys on the roster because you like them, because you won with them, as opposed to continuing to grow the talent pool on this roster and continue to keep this window open for years to come? Here's what Brad Holmes said about that.
That's a fair question, Justin. Look, I think that comes down to the communication aspect that I was speaking to prior. Look, we don't believe in handouts. We're a culture of accountability and a culture of earning it. And our communication with all our players is there's going to be competition. Even conversations that we had with guys that we want to come back, we tell them all the time there's going to be competition. I think those guys understand that. So, and that's what we do. The best person. It's a meritocratic approach in terms of, the best is going to be the best. The best is going to be number one. The second best is going to be number two. And I think our players understand that. And I think our players respect that me and Dan are always honest about that. So, we don't undermine or overlook the contributions that they've put in the past. And, there's a little bit of emotional attachment because we've seen how those guys have grinded over the years. But they're well aware that we're in the business of improving and upgrading and adding competition, and that's what makes teams better is better competition.
I feel, Braylon, like this too, that whatever happens on any roster decision that the Detroit Lions make moving forward, whether they decide to sign a guy, re-sign a guy, extend a guy, or move on from somebody, it won't be a surprise to the player. Because I feel like these two guys will have been in contact with these players and let them know how they really feel about them, their place here with this team moving forward, if their plan is to re-sign them, if their plan is to extend them. So when we get word of it, it'll be news to us. I don't think it'll be news to the individual player because of that communication piece.
When you deal with corporations, you gotta make some tough decisions. And it's a results-based business. That's what corporations are. The NFL is no different, and the organization, the Detroit Lions, are no different. It's a results-based business. How can we be better than we were last year? Where are situations that we might need to move on from, even if it's tough? Hey, I understand I brought this player in 3 years ago. This player he's become a staple with the city. He's become a friend of the locker room. He's a guy that's a brother. He's one of his teammates. But simply put, when I look at the film, when I turn the film on, this guy isn't giving the best at that position. I think we can get out of that position. Now, we needed that position. Hard decisions have to be made, but great GMs, great coaches are able to do that. Ryan, you hit the nail on the head. Those players that get cut or that aren't brought back, they'll be upset just in the sense that they're leaving the Detroit Lions and they feel like they helped put this thing together. They were a part of it. But at the end of the day, like you said, they won't be surprised. They were able to watch their film. They're able to know what what their limitations are, or maybe what they see this team needs to get to the next level. And you got to be honest with yourself. Brad Holmes is going to do a great job of that. You heard him after the first playoff win. I love every guy in this room. Every guy in this room, Brad Holmes had a hand in bringing that guy here. So he feels that way. But at the end of the day, what's the next step? The next step is to make people feel good. It's not to keep fan favorites that may not contribute. It's to get this team to the next level, and the next level for the Detroit Lions is the Super Bowl because they were knocking on the door. So it's going to be tough, but Brad Holmes is equipped to do it because it is a results-based business.
Dan Campbell said it the first game, Bray, against the Rams when he gave the game ball to Jared Goff. He said, L.A. didn't want you. Detroit wants you. That's who wants you. He also said after the San Francisco game that this team's not going to be together next year. It's a different team. I'm going to lose some guys off this team. And you can see he's genuinely upset. He's probably his heart is already broke at the end of that game that they lost. Then he has to think ahead and say, we might not get back here again. And then he thinks again, oh my God, I'm going to have to let this guy go, this guy go, this guy go. How could I do that? I know their families. How could I do that to them? But like you said, man, it's a cutthroat business. It's a cutthroat business. Didn't they cut Don Muehlbach on his birthday? For crying out loud. I mean, it's a cutthroat.
They did have a balloon for him.
They had a balloon for him, and they cut him the same effing day. It's heartbreaking. Dan Skipper, how do you tell that guy to take a walk? How? But they do. And you move on. And the next day comes and you forget and you move. And you move on. It's life, man. When someone passes away, you feel awful. And then before you know it, it's next week already. Time marches on, man.
At the end of the day, look, man, it's a grown man business. You know, I'm wearing this shirt, and it's very fitting for the story. Playing for the Jets, I thought I was going to play for the Jets forever. I leave Cleveland. I hated Cleveland. Got out of Cleveland. I escaped. It was like the escape from Alcatraz. Yep. And I get to the New York Jets. Fell in love with it right away. Fell in love with Rex, the culture, what they were building.
The city.
Yeah, of course. You know me. I'm hey, man. New York, man.
You got a place to go there, don't you?
100%.
Lots of things to do there.
There is.
Yeah.
There's never ending. The city never sleeps.
They just have a lousy stadium.
It's still new. Newer, if you will. But I thought I was going to be there forever. I fell in love. The cleaning people, like the janitorial services, man, the people in the kitchen. Like, I loved everything about New York. Well, after my second year there, they made a decision to go in a different direction. They went with Santonio Holmes, not me, and a couple filler wide receivers to fill my space. It hurt. Like, it hurt. I thought I had built enough. I thought I had done enough. But they wanted Santonio. He was a Super Bowl MVP wide receiver. Can't hate on that. Had to move on to the next thing. It is what it is. That's a tough job for the GMs. I built myself up for the fan base there. But it's a tough job for the GM. They have to make decisions. It's also about money. Yeah, they can't pay Santonio Holmes and Braylon Edwards. It's about money. How can we maximize the player talent, but at the same time maximize the money spent as well? So it is a business, and Brad Holmes, unlike some of the other GMs I've been around, really cares about the players and really cares about this team. So he'll do it in the best of his ability. Very class.
2014, when the Lions lost to the Cowboys, when they got the game stolen from them, and Dominican Sue, who not showing emotions. I don't ever seen this guy cry, except that day when he cried on the podium that he knew he wasn't going to play in Detroit anymore. Now, a lot of people said when he came here, they never wanted to be here. I do believe that might be partially right. But I do believe that
you learn to love.
Yeah, you learn to love, and I believe he looked at that team and said, man, if I stay on this team, we really could go places. And it turned out they went down the drain without him. There's a decision they had to make. Who do we pay? Calvin, Matt, and Dominican. We're going to pay Matt. We're going to pay Calvin. And they let Sue walk, and the rest is history.
Hey, man, Jets ain't been to the playoffs since I left them. Just all I'm saying.
Amen.
Well, I was going to mention
that's
that.
all I'm saying.
Listen, I was going to mention that too, as in no joke.
Yeah.
We're in the Jets shirt today. I feel like it's appropriate to discuss that too, because you go to back-to-back AFC Championship games in 09 and 10.
It's over.
And the Jets have not been back to the playoffs since. Not been back to the AFC Championship game. Yeah. They haven't been back to the playoffs since. And I think, I'm not saying that the Detroit Lions aren't going to be back to the playoffs, but it's really easy to get in this period of time and think you're just going to show up every year. But I think that's what Brad Holmes is trying to talk about here as well. This is not something that we're going to be a flash in the pan. We're going to be very smart. We're going to be very direct. We're going to be very poignant on the decisions we make. But more importantly, we're going to be very pointed in the decisions that we don't make as well, so we can keep this window open as long as they possibly can. Because in the NFL, it is, I don't want to say easy. It's been 60 years, but it's relatively easy because the Detroit Lions got good in 3 years. If you really look at it, the Detroit Lions got good in 3 years.
After 60 years.
After 60 years.
But still, it was
they got
3.
better in
this
3.
But this
Correct.
regime
Correct.
did it in 3 years, not 60.
What have I always told you about the Jets? They are the Lions of the AFC.
Yeah.
They are. They always were the Lions of the AFC.
I was gonna say, one of my points is it's easy in the NFL to go from bad to good. The true test is, can you go from good to great?
Or sustain good. Yeah.
Can you sustain good and be great? That's really the true test in whatever field you're in. There's a lot of things you can do to be a bad company to be a good company. But can you go from a good company to a great company? And that's what the Detroit Lions are trying to do. I do have a piece of sound, unless you got something you want to add to that.
Yeah, I did. Is it sound on Brad Holmes?
Yes.
Because I was going to say, there's one thing that I want him to do. Go play the sound.
All right, here it is.
Remember what you're going to say, though.
This is Brad Holmes talking about the difference between operating now from a bad team. Now you're operating from a position where you're a good team.
Approach.
It's really going to be the same exact process. It's going to be the same exact plan. You know, we're going to be very strategic, very selective. We're going to look for the same type of players. You know, again, it doesn't need to be. I know I referenced, you know, when we've had, you know, multiple ones, and so now we're picking later back. Actually, that's exciting for me. That's like, man, it's kind of back to I think 21 draft. The other reason why I love that draft is like there was like no combine. You know what I mean? It was like you either had to know the film and pick the right players or not, you know, and actually know the player and have the right intangibles where I think, you know, back there you're picking football players. And we're always picking football players. It's just that when we pick football players high, y'all have bashed us, you know, but we'll still continue to pick football players in the guys for us. So really it doesn't change. Will it be different? Yes, it will be different. It maybe not be as many high price external ads, but that's not required right now. So we'll just still keep sticking to our plan and go as normal. I think it's proven that it's working.
I'm listening to Ryan. I'm listening to Brad Holmes at the microphone, Ryan. I think you said something yesterday, and I think I might want to piggyback on that comment. Now, Brad needs to stop talking about who bashed who. Like I think like talking about what in terms of people bashing him for certain picks, bashing him for picking this guy over that guy, like or
that's his pride talking.
And I understand that, but like I think we're past that now.
Yeah.
And I think Ryan said that, and I kind of gave him a slight pushback, but now I'm on the same board. Look, Brad, this city loves you. Like these media people love you. Like everyone in that room loves you. We know what you did. We know you're capable of, and we got your support. I think he needs to let that chip down because I think it'll help him a little bit at that podium. But the last thing that I was gonna say, going back to, is it's about knowing which players you can and cannot get rid of. It's about surveying the fans, surveying the locker room, and surveying that tape. Because I think one of the big things that a GM did in New York, or it was. He didn't pay attention to the players that he was letting go. One of the biggest staples for the New York Jets was Jericho Cotchery. Jericho Cotchery was team leader. He was a team chaplain. Whenever you needed to play, he wasn't expensive. He was a player that you're just used to seeing 87 in that green and white. And I think when they got rid of him, the same year they got rid of me, you lost a lot of people. You lost the locker room. You lost continuity that the team had. Make sure if you have to pull the trigger on players, make sure it's players that aren't necessarily going to hit that locker room that hard. Make sure you're getting rid of the right players.
I want to ask you something, Ray. When you knew you weren't going to be with the Jets, who told you, and did you go and talk to Rex, or what happened?
So Ben Dogger, my agent at the time, was with CAA.
I know that agent.
Yeah. Ben Dogger's a good guy. Not the rest of CAA, but Ben Dogger's a damn good guy. He called me. He told me, said they were going with San Antonio, and my thing was you can get both. But they paid San Antonio, I think 9, 3 years, 27. We could have just did 2, 7.5, 7.5. But it is what it is. It hurt, you know, and I didn't go to Rex right away. I thought Rex would call me. Because me and Rex had a relationship.
Yeah.
Like, we had one of those ones where I spent a lot of time in his office. We talked about his father.
I'm surprised about that.
So when I went to Rex, it was, I don't want to get into all that. It's a little emotional still. But, like, I went eventually, and it got to the politics of the game. It got away from the relationships, and then you realize, you know what, it is a business. And then you have to remind yourself it's a business. Then it kind of hardens you to how the business works, and then you lose the love, and it becomes, all right, I need to go for this team, get a check, or I need to play somewhere I want to play. Now you're chasing the right situation.
Who's the GM?
Mike Tannenbaum.
Right.
Mike Tannenbaum. Great guy, just our situation didn't work out. And Mike's a great guy. Every time I see him, he speaks, he comes on the show. His daughter's at the University of Michigan in her junior year. It's just our situation didn't work out. He and San Antonio's agent were friends. But it happens, you know, and then it's like, what's next? What's the next move? Yeah. And then you end up in San Fran. So it's a business. And I think sometimes we think it's family, and it is to a certain extent, but at the end of the day, they will always do what's best for them. So that's why people tell you have to do what's best for you too.
Yeah, and that's why you know, a lot of the players too. I have completely changed how I approach my fandom, for lack of a better way to say it, when it comes to contracts as well. Because where I used to be on the team side of things, now I'm on the player side of things. Because you see how the players are treated in this league or any league, and it could probably be handled a lot better. But you've got to get your money when you can get your money for these players. That's why there's no hometown discounts or stuff like that. You go get your money when you can get your money.
I think Goff will give us a little bit of a hometown discount. I truly believe that.
What's a hometown discount to you?
I don't know. I just think he'll make his contract.
45?
I think he'll make
is a discount.
I think he'll make his contract similar to a contract that you push to the future.
See, a lot of those. Here's where I'll give you.
That's
some
what I meant.
Here's where I'll give you some pushback on that, Maz. Jared Goff might want to do that, but what his agent and what the NFL will allow him to do are two different things.
Yeah.
Because if Jared Goff takes 45, you know who's getting 45 then? So less than 45.
I get it.
So when you're part of a union, you cannot do those things.
Understood.
And I think if it was up to Goff, he would probably do that.
But a lot of players do it into their
that.
contract years. Once the contract starts, they always push their money.
And it's always interesting ways. I think the first time I started seeing people get tricky with the contracts was Larry Fitzgerald and the Bidwells in Arizona. They would always push his back or give him something on the back end or pay him early or renegotiate his contract, do the deal, and hey, we'll take care of you when you finish playing ball. It's all types of little deals like that go on. I mean, these guys aren't billionaires. Very
few times in the prime of a player's career, though.
Absolutely.
Very few. A lot of times.
Never in the prime, except for Brady.
Exactly. A lot of times you can do that at the end of a career. Brady was in year 14, year 15 when he started doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He played 8 more years under those contracts, but Brady even did that back then. All right, guys, we're gonna head to Vegas next and talk to our good friend Dave Beachnau from the Detroit Sports Commission. What is going on in Vegas? What do you want to know about the NFL draft coming up in April, the Final Four in 27, and we'll ask about that Super Bowl. Are we getting another Super Bowl? Will they make another bid for one? We'll do that next. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did, by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. They offer the same great service that customers have come to know. Located in Ferndale on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. And if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet.
Together, let's ride.
Oh, let's drive, baby.
Yeah. Oh, is that new?
That's new, baby.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new down-home comfort dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The down-home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of down-home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists, and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA Tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Winter is here. It's also a perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. Shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They should be covering, they do cover Woodward Sports Network, and they should be covering you too. Ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at SwissINS.com or call 248-800-4177. Take it away, Rye Guy.
Oh, man. Hour number 2 of the program. Welcome in. Oh, my goodness. Wait a minute. Let me first tell you about Lady. I'll tell you why I'm distracted coming up. Let me tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It is wicked awesome. Walk into any Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register to win a trip of your dreams and all expenses paid suite for the 2024 NCAA Tournament. That's right, no expense spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. You walk in anytime, open 7 days a week. It is wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Dave Beachnau going to join us momentarily, trying to fight through some technical difficulties. But so Braylon Edwards and I were just talking about, you hear this situation with Tony Snell in the NBA? He played for the Pistons as one of the teams that he's played for over his 9+ year career in the NBA. Tony Snell is trying to get a team to sign him. It is past that time now, I believe.
Trade deadline was the 3rd.
Yeah. He needed a team to sign him for the second half of the season so he could have enough games being rostered by an NBA team to get his 10th year of eligibility or 10 years of service, which really take your benefits, your retirement benefits to a whole nother level.
And he has 2 kids on the spectrum that need medical care, and so he was trying to get it for them more so than anything. And I don't know, everybody's going to look at how much he's made over those 9 years. I think he's made something to the tune of $52 million. So he can afford it. He can afford it, and you're absolutely correct. The only reason I said something was because the NBA, this is what they do. They take care of their players. There's not that many of them, so they take care of them. Whereas if you told me the NFL did this, I'd be like, okay, duh. This is what they do. Baseball, hockey included. But NBA, it was a shocker. But that's not why you were laughing, though.
Well, because
you were laughing
I'm like,
at the
look,
Nassus.
yeah, right. So I was like, some NBA team probably could have signed him on the end of the bench for the last 40 games, like Milwaukee.
Portland, that's his last team. They're not making the playoffs.
Anybody has Giannis Antetokounmpo's brother. I don't even know his first. What is it? Thanasis. So Braylon sends me a video because the guy got 3 All-Star votes. I don't know how. Is that a joke?
Because Giannis voted for him. He voted for himself, and they got another brother that's in the league. So
probably Chris Middleton.
Hey, Chris Middleton, 100%.
You know,
his highlight tape was all like bad passes and like he got sprited like Grant Hill trying to dunk the basketball.
Oh man!
I wish I was that good where my brothers could just be on the squad.
Yeah,
wasn't the case.
Taken care of for a long time. Mavs, what's going on? You fill us in. Oh, good. Okay, we have him on the phone. Oh, look at that. All right, look at that. Well, let's go out to Vegas via the telephone. You remember the telephone at my goodness,
man. I remember the payphone.
Hey, the payphone still works.
1-800-COLLECT.
Dave Beachnau, Executive Director of the Detroit Sports Commission out there in Vegas. I'm glad the payphones still work here at Woodward Sports. Thanks, Dave.
I'm on a soup can with a string attached to it.
Right.
That's old school. That's like Huckleberry Finn.
Oh my God.
Sorry, Dave. We wanted to see what Vegas looked like, but we'll settle for a telephone.
There's a private room going on out there.
You're not missing anything. It's been raining out here for 3 days.
I heard the weather was terrible there.
Oh, wow. It's 55%
yeah,
here.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, my goodness.
I'd almost rather be home.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Amen
All
to
good,
that.
though. Yeah.
Hey, Dave, so what are you doing out there? What are your responsibilities out there? Is it to promote the draft coming up in April? How do your responsibilities kind of work through this week?
Yeah, that's exactly right. We have a booth in the media center, and we're here to, like you said, promote the draft's going to be in Detroit. Talk a little bit about the vision of what they can expect in Detroit when they get here, and just spread the word, as we say, work the room. So we're
Dave, we've talked to you a number of times over the last year.
Next year's Super Bowl, so it's a great opportunity for us. We're here all week, and we're fired up. We got 78 days until April 25th, and we're looking forward to it.
Dave, we've talked so many people looking forward to it. We've talked to you a couple of different times over the last year. Have you guys now got the plan down for Detroit, where everything is going to be, what needs to be done in the meantime, where the players are going to be, where you want the fans to be? Do you have all of those details, and has that been released to the public yet?
Much of that information has not yet been released, although very shortly there will be some unveiling of renderings of what the draft will look like in the downtown core, with the draft theater, which will be built in and around Campus Martius Park, flowing down Woodward Avenue to Hart Plaza, which is where the NFL draft experience will be. But I've been working very closely with the NFL. As you can imagine, it's not like dropping an event into Ford Field with the dynamics of street closures and interruption of local businesses. So we're working through all of that, and the process, the building process, will start 6 weeks out, and so it'll be a phased approach, but at some point there will certainly be, road closures and things that folks will need to be considered. But working very closely with DPD, the mayor's office, all of our local stakeholders to minimize any pains that may take place during that process.
Hey, Dave, I know those plans won't be revealed right now on the air, although if you wanted to, feel free.
Hey, feel free.
But the question I would have for you is, are you totally pleased with how this will be laid out? In other words, is there any doubt that whatever happens, whatever you guys unveil, that this was the absolute right way to go about having the draft in Detroit?
Your vision.
100%. It's one thing to have all of our local fans and all of those in the an NFL drive market to converge on our city, but also the 60 million viewers that will be captured by Detroit over the course of 3 days. You just can't pay for that kind of advertising. So to tell our story to the world, I mean, that's invaluable, and we couldn't be more pleased with where this is landing, so to speak, and how our city will show to a worldwide audience.
Dave, always a pleasure to talk to you. It looks like the Lions have had a lot more excitement since the last time we talked, so that definitely will bode well in April as well. My question for you is simply, what issues or what concerns have you come up against in terms of this whole process and getting everything laid out, like Ryan said, the way you wanted to in April? What issues or concerns? And if you answer that in the first question, my apologies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's part of it. When you impact a central business district for a period of time, there are going to be pain points there. But I think for us, and I think I talked about it as well, just the influx of fans that we're going to have in Detroit. Kansas City was a little bit unique because, not that they're out in the middle of nowhere, but there aren't really any NFL markets within a reasonable driving distance. But when you look at Detroit, you've got Cleveland, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Chicago, Pittsburgh, all within a 2 to 5 hour drive. And so our only concern is at some point we're going to have capacity inside the footprint,
Yeah.
And what are we going to do with those that can't get in? And so that's a priority for us right now is having activations outside of the footprint for people to still enjoy the draft if they can't get inside. So, from entertainment to, large screen viewings and other activations, those are all in the plan so that everyone, either locally or visitors, come to our city, they have a great experience.
Executive Director of Detroit Sports Commission joins us right now, Dave Beachnau. Dave, another question I want to ask you is about the restaurants and lodging. I believe we talked about this last year. I think this is a question that always comes up. I live here. We all live here. But taking a step out of the city, is the city ready for what's going to be? I mean, you talk about all these neighboring NFL cities. It's going to be a boom. Those 5 days are going to be really big. Are we ready as Detroiters for restaurants and lodging for the tourists?
We are. It's an education. Certainly the hotels will be at capacity downtown, officially with the NFL and then, the influx of fans. But, we've got 40,000 hotel rooms in the region. And while everyone won't be able to stay downtown, Dearborn, Southfield, and other nearby communities, there'll be plenty of lodging available.
Sure.
Short drive downtown, plenty of parking once they get here. And so it'll be a great experience. We're going to have the restaurants ready, all the local businesses, and we're all aligned to be sure that when people walk away, they say great things about Detroit because they got friends and family who we want to come back as visitors for other opportunities.
Hey, Dave, it's Maz. Thanks again for coming on. I wanted to ask you about the main stage where Roger Goodell is going to walk out. Is that going to be Hart Plaza area, or is that going to be Campus Martius, CompuWare area?
Yep, Campus Martius area. Again, very, very soon some of the plans will be unveiled, but yes, the Draft Theater main stage will be built out in the Campus Martius Park area, so that entire footprint around the park will be enclosed, flowing down Woodward Avenue into Hart Plaza. Yep.
Wonderful. Will any of the stadiums be used? Comerica's there, Fox Theater, all the theaters down there. Of course, Ford Field, Little Caesars Arena. How is that going to all work? Little Caesars has the big, the big walk-up. You know what I'm talking about, where the big screen is, the outdoor screen. Is that all going to be? Everything's going to be used?
Well, you may or may not know this, but the Tigers are actually in town that weekend.
Oh my God! Oh my!
Yeah. So they they're actually they're off Thursday, but they have an afternoon game on Friday, and I believe they'll be an evening start on Saturday.
Okay, that kind of works.
When I understand, so
that kind of works.
So yeah, that's great. It's another opportunity for visitors or residents alike to take in something other than the draft while they're in town.
Sure.
And to your point about Little Caesars Arena, I think there are going to be some other strategic activations that take place in and around that area. Yep.
Now, I was talking to the guys earlier today, and I don't know, I got a feeling Super Bowl 16 was in Pontiac. Super Bowl 40 was in Detroit. I go 25 years. Let's go to Super Bowl LXV. That's Super Bowl 65. Yep. Do we have a shot for Super Bowl 65?
Thanks for doing the math for me.
All right, Super Bowl 65. LXV. Let's go, Dave. Come on, man.
Okay. That might be somebody else's job at that point. But
that's not far, Dave.
I like how you're thinking about it.
We're at 58 already. 65, 7 years. You got 7 years in you.
Okay, yeah. I still look pretty good.
You do.
Amen.
Do we have a shot for a Super Bowl? Honestly, reality.
Well, I think the reality is, the NFL, I think, has been very strategic, especially with the draft. And I think the draft is turned into something I'm not sure they even imagined it would become. So I think that's the other tentpole event for them that provides an opportunity for those cities who really don't have the chance to host a Super Bowl. And so I think that's their thought process. I think the Super Bowl is likely going to rotate, around a half a dozen cities or so, and the draft will continue to work its way around the country, and it does. It provides a great opportunity, like a Kansas City, a Cleveland in the past, who aren't going to host a Super Bowl, and the draft is our Super Bowl, in my opinion.
It used to be, not anymore though.
Yeah.
Well,
that's right.
You know, Dave, look, you've got you had SummerSlam last year. You've got the draft this year. You've got the Final Four in 27. These are 3 of the top 8 events that the country could host. I mean, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah, it is, and you know, we've got a ton of momentum in our region right now. We've had some success, and you know, success breeds success. And you know, we've got a couple things up our sleeve that we're hopeful will fall, you know, in our favor here very shortly. But you know, the work never ends. We're planning for NFL draft, but we're continuously out recruiting new opportunities. So that's the beauty of what we do.
Dave, what's going on with the NCAA regionals? So when does that start over at Little Caesars Arena?
That little thing?
Yeah. Yeah, when's that hitting?
And that's the thing about it. The draft conversation has kind of overshadowed the fact that we've got an NCAA basketball regional on March 29th and 31st, and we're going to be sending a team to the Final Four in Phoenix. And that regional, those are great events, and we're excited about that and the opportunity that it presents. And you know, we're looking forward to our own Final Four in 2027. So
can't wait.
We're the regional's nearly sold out. I think at last count there was less than 1,000 tickets available. So no, we're excited about it. I do want to go back to the draft for just a minute and make sure that people are aware that it is free and open to the public. And what they need to do is download the NFL One Pass to their phone and register, because that will allow them access into the draft footprint. So, make sure that your listeners are doing that. And
I'm doing it right now.
Information will be updated and populated as we get into March, and all details draft related will live on that app.
That's a great thing to leave our audience with.
NFL
One Pass. You spell
NFL
out,
One Pass.
Go to your app store, guys, right now. Go to your app store, NFL One, and you spell it out. One Pass. It's one word, NFL One Pass. You download that on your phone, and you'll need that to get into the footprint, but it is totally free. All the information that you could possibly want on that app, NFL One Pass. Hey, Dave, last thing before we leave you. Obviously, you've got so much going on. One person in the chat asked this question, so I wanted to put it to you. Any effort at all to get a UFC fight to Detroit? We've had just about everything else. Anything about a UFC fight?
Well, I'm writing that down right now. But yeah.
Those happen all the time downtown.
Yeah,
just not in the arena.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that we've necessarily targeted, but certainly we're open to a lot of opportunities. So never say never.
There you go.
No, it's not something that we've looked at recently. Yeah.
There you go. A UFC. How about that?
Dana White and
we
Dave
got
Beachnau.
everything.
There we go.
got everything else. Let's go. Dave Beachnau and
Dana
White.
There you go.
I love it. Good stuff. Hey, Dave, we cannot thank you enough. And hopefully we didn't steal your sunshine here in Detroit, because it is sunny out and about 50 degrees. I know it's rainy
don't
there.
tell me that.
Right.
Yeah.
Who would have thought you're in Vegas and you say, don't tell me that?
Who would have thought?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Well, we're big fans of yours, big fans of the commission, and thanks for everything you're doing for our city.
Thanks, Dave.
No, thanks for having me, and any time. I really appreciate it.
You got it.
Remember, Super Bowl LXV.
Yeah, he's got that. The great Dave Beachnau, Executive Director of the Detroit Sports Commission. Thanks, Dave. And one of the things, Maz, and I think you'll appreciate this too, I didn't look at it like this, but the NFL, this is their way of saying, I think, you're not getting a Super Bowl, but this is what we can give you. And still, this is pretty darn good.
Yeah, the fact that they even want to put this here, it lets you know how they feel about Detroit. City's on the rise, and the team definitely is on the rise, knocking on the doorstep. So, at the end of the day, you just want to be seen, and I think the NFL, as well as the rest of the country, does see Detroit.
I already downloaded the One Pass, and I'm registering as we speak.
Oh yeah, don't worry about the show or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, guys, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll look at Super Bowl 58, the Chiefs and the 49ers. Then we'll get back to Brad Holmes. I think he says a lot of interesting things as well. But Chiefs, Raiders, go around the NFL. We'll do it next. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. When you see this black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing:
stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
The number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house.
Hello?
Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists, and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA Tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Winning is a habit. So is listening daily to Woodward Sports. We're glad you're a winner, and thanks for listening.
Have you ever wondered where all the finest restaurants get their steaks? It's Fairway Packing Company, providing Michigan restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef for over 60 years. But now you can buy these cuts of meat for yourself at the Steak Shop by Fairway Packing Company. Prime porterhouse, A5 Japanese New York strip steak, dry aged Wagyu beef tomahawk. Delicious. Get to the Steak Shop today. Enjoy fine wine, have a private party, and get the finest cuts of meat anywhere. The Steak Shop on Mack Avenue in Grosse Pointe Woods, or order online, fairwaypacking.com.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard.
Corner, jumper,
Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Hey guys, it's Maz from Premier Pet
Maz.
Supply, PremierPetSupply.com. Do not settle for less. Give your pet the best. Premier Pet Supply, hands down, Michigan's best pet store, family owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 brands of food at the lowest prices available. Not only that, they got nutritionists to help you through any kind of questions that you have about your pet. They have curbside delivery as well. Check them out online at PremierPetSupply.com. And if you're like me, your dog likes to play Jack Labrador. Yes, me and Jeter are playing Jack Labrador, baby. That's the Champions deck, only $20. That's all it costs to get the better game, to get it to make rock, paper, scissors into the 21st century. This is the game for you. Jack Labrador, for more of the information. Click on that QR code, 2 new symbols, and a franchise-changing 3-point play. That's right, Jack Labrador making rock, paper, scissors into the game of the future. Get it today. Make sure you tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
All right, gang. Super Bowl week. Tom Mazaway will go around the NFL.
Yes, sir.
And I'll tell you, this line is ticking down.
What's it down to? A half?
It is down.
It was 1.
No. It was 2. It was 2.
It went back up to 2. I must have missed that.
It was 2.
Shows you how much I care.
I got 2 right now. Steady at 2.
So San Francisco is a 2-point favorite.
Yeah, depends where you go. I've seen 2.5. I've seen 2. I've seen 1.5. I've seen 1.
All right, I'm going to put something up for you.
It'll be a pick 'em before by the time the game.
Hey, how much money do you think is going to be bet on this Super Bowl?
I saw it, so I cannot say.
I'll tell you right now.
$4 billion.
People expect $23 billion
I was only
to
off
be
by
bet
19.
on Super Bowl 58. That's a lot of cash.
Wild, man.
Man,
it is wild what gambling has done to our society. And Roger Goodell spoke about it yesterday. I thought,
be careful, guys.
I thought Tracy Wolfson did a really nice job yesterday following
University
up
of
on
Michigan?
that. Yeah, University of Michigan. Yeah, but that was one of the questions posed to him yesterday in the State of the NFL press conference, and she followed up with it like, "What do you do?" And he didn't give us a non-answer, but you're taking their money. You take their money. You're in bed with them, and then you have stuff like. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Man, just be careful, guys. I saw something on. Well, I didn't watch 60
People gotta
Minutes.
be careful.
I heard about it.
Was that this week?
That was this weekend. They were telling how kids are betting their entire student loans on NFL and on these gambling sites that we see. What do you see the most on television? Gambling site commercials
and alcohol
and drugs.
Alcohol,
How to lose weight,
yep.
all that kind of stuff. That's what's on television, and people have fallen into the trap. Just be careful. That's all I got to say. Also, Roger Goodell, someone asked him about, hey, what do you think about this Taylor Swift effect? Here's Roger Goodell from the meeting just yesterday.
Having the Taylor Swift effect is also a positive. Both Travis and Taylor are wonderful young people. They seem very happy. She knows great entertainment, and I think that's why she loves NFL football. But I think it's great to have her a part of it. Obviously, it creates a buzz. It creates another group of young fans, particularly young women, that are interested in seeing, why is she going to this game? Why is she interested in this game? Besides Travis, she is a football fan, and I think that's great for us.
Well, there you go.
First of all, no stuff that he's happy that Taylor Swift is a part of this. Taylor Swift has increased the brand of the NFL because they've increased the young female watcher and viewer. But she wasn't watching no football until him and her got together.
Facts.
So cool off with that, Roger Goodell.
Yeah, and obviously it brings a different element. Young girls specifically excited about football.
Yeah.
I mean, she does do that.
That's why I asked.
Huh?
So that's why I said, like, you look at the new age of the girl watching football, that viewership, man, it's gone down. They said the big boom is now 12 to like 23.
Yeah,
There's more female referees,
Hell yeah.
officials. There's more female coaches in all sports now. And you know what? Sports is universal now. It is. It just is.
Yep, no doubt.
Here's something, guys. Roger Goodell also said, you know how you have the opening night, Thursday night game, which the Lions were a part of last year. Did you know that following the opening night of this year's NFL season, they're going to have a Thursday game, the champion, either the Chiefs or the 49ers, will host somebody, and the following night, the first Friday night NFL game on opening weekend will be across the border in Brazil.
I hate it.
Brazil.
And the Philadelphia Eagles are the
Who's
host
number
team.
2? Oh, it's like
I believe that Friday nights belong to the high school kids. I've always believed that. I've hated when Michigan State opens their season on a Friday night. I hate it when colleges play on Friday night. And I hate it when the NFL plays on Friday night. There are just some things that I think should remain sacred in sports. And leaving the high school kids alone on Friday night is one of them.
It's a one-off, man.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that.
It's a one-time.
It's a one-time until the next time.
Correct.
It's a one-time until it gets ratings gold, and then they do it every year, and then they're like, oh, maybe we can play games on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday coming up towards the end of the season.
I like where you're going.
Yeah.
I like where you're going with
Thursday,
this.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
And Monday. Don't forget Monday.
It's a one-off until the next one.
How long before they play football every day of the week?
That's you know
4
they
days a
essentially
week?
do if you include Maction. Maction on a Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm talking about the NFL.
Yeah.
I'm talking about specifically.
Hey,
NFL.
man,
when will teams practice?
I'll take 4 day a week.
I don't mind.
I'll take 4 day a week.
It is what it
They're
is.
going to add an 18th week.
We get
You
used-
know that.
We get used to everything else.
18th game is coming.
Yeah, we know that, right?
4 days a week. I think will come. Maybe 3 days has been the regular now. For how long? Thursday and Sunday and Monday. Hell, man. Look out. You might have a 5 days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
I just wonder when would people have time to practice? Like at some point, you're talking about
that's
guys.
overrated.
It's
It's overrated, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure they care.
We don't care about you. You're making $20 million. We don't care about you.
Trust me, I know.
Okay. You know what I mean.
No, the pervert, not you, man.
Of course.
Man.
But that's life, man, I guess.
It is.
Mike Vrabel.
got
Who's
out.
shocked in this room that Mike Vrabel ain't coaching this year?
I'm shocked.
You want to know what are the reasons people are putting out there now?
I saw this. This is ridiculous.
They're saying Mike Vrabel is too intimidating, too big to be a head coach. We got Dan Campbell here in town. But Mike Vrabel, they've said, is too big and intimidating to NFL owners to put on the sidelines.
That is bizarre to me. And so we're gonna get a look at you. Yeah, we've got audio.
I know.
Poor Braylon.
Braylon's on the camera.
You're on the camera.
camera right
Yeah,
now.
the computer's frozen, but you can hear us, but you can't.
I can add some value to this then.
Okay.
I'll add some value.
Let's all get behind Braylon's camera.
Yeah.
That would be fun. That might be a part of it, though. I mean, you look at Mike Vrabel, and I think majority of it is maybe his coaching style. I think it's a derivative of Bill Belichick's coaching style. You see, he's not necessarily hired back this year, and I think there may be some confusion of what type of coach is Mike Vrabel in terms of being intimidated. Coaches looked a certain way. They sounded a certain way for a very long time. You know, you got a couple guys like a Bill Parcells or Andy Reid, but Andy Reid's he's a big softy. If you will, Mike Vrabel is a former linebacker. He's intense. Ron Rivera was an intense
When you start
guy.
talking about people's physical appearance, though, that is like, come on, man.
So what are they going to say next? Andy Reid is too chubby,
right?
I mean,
to coach. I mean,
you may say that, but we're moving to a different world. Everything is changing. Everything is about perception. Everything is about feeling. How does this make me feel? How does this look on the aesthetic? Like the NFL coach looked a certain way for a very long time. Looked like a corporate guy that maybe did insurance, that maybe did finance, that maybe was an attorney. Like it was never football players that were coaches. And now you're starting to get Dan Campbell. Like she loved Dan Campbell.
Right.
Maybe somebody else hiring is like, I don't want to coach the way he can beat me up.
Hey, the Giants are hiring former Titans defensive coordinator Shane Bowen as their new defensive coordinator. Shane Bowen, I really don't know him, but obviously he's been a coordinator before. And it looks like Brian Dable found somebody he can get along with.
This is it for Brian Dable,
This
too.
is it, yeah. This is it.
I mean, this is his last year.
He chased
don't
Wink
do
Martindale out of town. Now he's got Shane Bowen. So we'll see how that works. Giants are a mess.
Wink Martin had the best saying, period. He said, man, that's he could throw the ball. He can throw a strawberry through a battleship. That's Wink Martin saying, man. I mean, Wink Martindale. I love that saying.
Who was he talking about?
He's talking about quarterbacks. Whenever a quarterback has a strong arm, he's like, man, he's a gamer. He can throw a strawberry through a battleship.
Can I just say, I'm really enjoying this.
I'm not.
Thoroughly enjoying this.
I'm not.
Why don't we take a break? Maybe Pete can reset.
The camera is frozen on Braylon.
At least I'm handsome. You know what I'm saying? I'm handsome. Got the green and white.
Do you want me to take a break?
Yes.
All right.
We gotta let everybody know this is Jets.
Oh, he can't go to a break.
This is in Michigan.
So we're just going to keep going. He can't even go to a break, Baz. So we'll continue. Can you?
So do we need someone to call
play
in?
Audio? Can you play any audio? Cannot play any audio. Okay, so here's what we're going to do.
We'll see you tomorrow, folks.
Pretty much.
No, I mean, we can keep going here for a minute. One of the things I want to put forward was go back and.
If this was you would be.
I would be like, no,
exactly.
I'm out. I would end the show.
Ryan, go over there.
I want you to know, if this was me, I'd end the show.
Yeah, 100%.
All right.
So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, see you guys tomorrow. We're out. Here, come over here.
Okay,
come over here.
All right, hold on.
Let's make this work.
You don't need your headphone anymore.
Yeah, I do. I need to hear. So one of the things.
Here comes Noah.
One of the things that was being talked about yesterday was Brad Holmes with his receipts, with the draft grades. Okay. Hold on. So hold on. Let me, because I gotta.
You gotta pull it up.
I gotta pull it in here. So he called out Burkett for the draft grades. Did you see this?
I
No,
did.
I did not. But Dave gave him a C+.
Well,
or
no.
B minus.
No, Dave didn't give him anything like that.
Yeah, so.
Is this at his descriptions of the picks?
Oh, okay. So
yeah, and there were other guys that had it too.
Carlos.
Like, Carlos Monterez.
Carlos.
Yeah, he had a few.
This is from
go ahead, brother.
February 5th. Okay.
Oh, wow.
This is a post from February 5th, but this was the 2021 Detroit Lions draft class. You ready? What he did? Best pick, Penei Sewell. Biggest steal, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Who said that?
Biggest
Dave?
reach, none. I mean, he praised this draft.
Wow.
But he was one of the guys that got called out yesterday by Brad Holmes.
You got to read Carlos Monterez's ones. Those are the ones you want to read.
But again, Carlos did give him like D's and all this stuff. But I mean, to be called out in front of your peers,
I know,
and to be wrong, that's tough.
That goes back to what I was saying in terms of him having
Just
to
end it.
Let the chip go.
Yeah.
Like, you got to let the chip go. You got a lot of love here in the city of Detroit. And I know how it is when people say one thing and then they backtrack and you want to make sure you stick it to them and put it in their face. Pause. But with that, hey, that's big pause right there. But with that being said, it's over. The city respects the hell out of Brad Holmes. They love Brad Holmes. They love Dan Campbell. They love the players that he's drafted. So I think make it more about what you guys are going to do in the offseason moving forward, not necessarily about draft picks that you already have and grades and descriptions that were already given. That's water under the bridge.
You got anything to add on that, Maz?
Yeah, I do. Brad Holmes obviously has an axe to grind with us, anyone that talks about sports. Let's face it, he does. And I don't blame him. I understand.
He didn't mention that Jack Campbell stuff.
I truly understand. Yeah, he didn't know that you walked off the stage for the Jack Campbell pick. But nonetheless.
Oh, man. It was deservingly so.
It was, nonetheless. He's going to learn from this. He's not going to have to. You need a thick skin.
You want to come up
to
here?
Be in this business? No, I got to stay right here. I don't like to be on the camera. Period. They should just have a great job. They should just have like Alyssa here in front of me when I'm on the air.
All right, guys.
He's going to get a thicker skin. That's all.
You gotta get a thicker skin. All right, guys. I'm not gonna torture you for another 15 minutes, so we'll just end it here. We'll be back tomorrow. Woodward Sports on YouTube. We appreciate all of
Heavyweights are coming up next.
Heavyweights at 5. We'll get it fixed by then.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow. No problem, Pete. We know it's not your fault. Doing your best.
End it, Pete.
It's all good. No problem, Pete. Can't even end.